Hello, I'm Shade with Trusty Inspections. We're here in Washington State. I'm here with Greg Gallagher. We're doing one of our videos for the Ask the Inspector series. I've worked with Greg for about 4 years now. He's part of Greg Gallagher Group. Outstanding guy, really takes care of his clients, man of integrity. So Greg, what do you want to share with us? Share about yourself.
Well, I've been in the real estate business about 20 years. I primarily focus on investor type properties, but I'm known in the real estate community as a listing broker. I do a lot of listings. Me and my wife will do about 70 listings this year. So a lot of what I want to talk to you about is really what has to do with sellers and the things that they need to be aware of when it comes to having inspections of their homes done. I also sit on the board for REAPS, which is the largest investor association on the West Coast. I've been around for 30 some years. I've been on their board of directors for 5 years, and we're just an education and networking organization. That's actually how I met you and your wife, was through REAPS. Yeah. So yeah, we've been working together 4 years. You've done dozens and dozens, maybe, I don't know, maybe we're even at 100 inspections between myself and all the clients that I've sent over your way. So you've done a great job for us. The first thing I wanted to ask is, I work with a lot of sellers and do a lot of listings. How do they prepare their house? Like, what will you need to be able to get to when you're going to a seller's home that's listing their home for sale and they need the inspection done? What do you need to be able to get to so that you can do your inspection properly?
That's a great question, Greg. Do we need to get to the electrical panel? How many times have we been in the garage and there's things installed around the electrical panel? So we need to have the electrical panel cleared out so we can get it to the electrical panel and take a look at that. And also the crawl space access is usually in the closet, and you're in the closet, in your coat closet, and got shoes all spread all over the place. So we need to get access to that, and just, and some of the interior walls too. If they have a lot of stores there, try to clear the walls out so we can see the walls and get to that kind of stuff too. So those are probably the biggest things that we need to have access to.
So if I'm giving advice to a seller in preparation for inspection, tell them clear off the manhole cover, if you will, to their crawl space.
Yes.
Make sure there's nothing covering there. Make sure you can get access to the electrical panel. Probably access to the water heater. A lot of them are in garages, and we see a lot of cluttered garages, right?
Yeah, and then the furnace too. We want to make sure the furnace is cleared out of the way too.
One of the issues that we come into contact with a lot, because here in the Northwest, especially west of the Cascades, we have a lot of rain. I have several properties I'm working with right now where we have water in the crawl space. And do you want to talk about some of the stuff that you see as an inspector, issues that we have, and how do we identify causes of water in the crawl space?
That's a big thing. That's a lot of water in the Northwest, just like you were saying. So there's many factors that can contribute to that. Negative grade towards the house. So when you have all water going into the water towards the house, and then when the ground gets oversaturated, it doesn't really know where else to go. So then it kind of starts seeping in the crawl space. And poor water diversion. Not having your splash blocks, your elbows, and all that stuff in place for your gutter system. And then also sprinkler heads. A lot of times you see sprinkler heads, they're turned the wrong way or spraying up against the foundation. And then the water is, and here we go again during the summertime, where you have your sprinklers on all the time, and then it's just getting inside, and then the ground gets oversaturated and there's nowhere else to go, so it goes in the crawl space. And maybe rust your siding too if you have a bunch of vegetation against the crawl space. So, and also your French drain system. Your French drain system gets plugged or clogged and the water has nowhere to go. And then once again, it gets up in the crawl space. So those are the biggest things that contribute to water in the crawl space.
What are the most common remedies when people are asking you for recommendations for, hey, how do I keep the water away? What are some of the things that you recommend that people do to keep water away from their house?
For a negative grade towards the house, usually you see some driveways will have like a drain in the driveway to divert the water in there. So if you have a negative grade problem like that, install a drain from a drain contractor to get that installed in there. And then if we have water in the crawl space and it's not contributed to negative grade and doesn't have nothing to do with sprinklers, your splash blocks are all in place and your elbows are where they're supposed to be, then we need to contact a drainage contractor to make sure that the drainage system, French drain system is well, if you have to determine if you have a French drain system or if you have splash blocks, then you don't have a drain system. So if you have a drain system, you have water in crawl space, then you need to contact a drain contractor to see what's going on.
In the wintertime, when it rains a lot, how can you tell if the water's been standing there a long time or if it's just like fresh water because we just had a massive rainstorm over the weekend? Is there a way to tell? And is that maybe a different problem that's going on there?
Well, generally during the winter time, it's okay, you have a fresh rainfall, so that's usually probably the first place that I go to, is especially if it has a drain system that has probably incurred a drain plugged or something's going on with that. Now, if it's during the winter time, not during winter time, but it's during spring or fall time where there's no much rain, then usually you can see the residue on the vapor barrier left over from the water that's been standing in there and has some time to dry. And then I'd be like, that's an indication there was water in the crawl space. So that's when I'd be like, okay, during the fall time, we need to keep an eye on that. In the next couple of good rainfalls, we need to poke our head in there and see if we have any standing water, because there'd probably be a good chance it's going to be some in there.
That's great.
At least once a year, you should pop into the crawl space and take a look in there and see if you got any water, standing water in there. Because that can add up to be very costly.
Yeah, that's a great piece of advice. You know, I met you through the investor space, and I know that you've done some investor inspections for me. You want to talk about how those are different from your typical inspection?
Well, from an investor's point of view, it's, you know, they just want to know what the big things are, and they want to know them right away. Well, hey, how's the roof doing? Is that roof, is the foundation settling? Is it split? Is the house having settling issues? You know, is there something major that we need to talk to, that we need to address? So that's what we do. We do kind of a verbal thing, walk there on site, and we walk through with the investor, and we point out the things that I can see to the investor. That way the investor can make a decision whether or not they want to follow through with the investment. And it has no report, has no pictures, because investors mostly know what they've been done for years, kind of like yourself. You kind of know, hey, that's a roof, this is something that we need to take care of, or there's a settling issue, and then we just kind of run from there. That's all they really need.
Yeah, for me it's been helpful because flipping houses, I mean, I'm going to rip out all the carpet and I'm going to repaint and probably rip out kitchens, but I need to know, hey, my electrical, my plumbing, my roof, my foundation, my siding, all my big items are those items that I need to be looking out for. So it's been helpful to have those investor inspections.
It's fun to do them too.
Yeah. Well, that's all I got for you for today. Thanks so much, Shade.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you, Greg.
All right.
It's been a pleasure. All right, so this is Shade with Trusty Inspections. If you have any questions, you want to book an inspection at 253-350-3332 or go to trustyinspections.com. Thank you. Bye.